Hello, everyone. Welcome to GNU according to CD, that is Government of National Unity. Fellow South Africans, we need to talk, and this is very, very serious and a security threat to our nation. If the person or people or a politician or a border patrol or somebody that has the power to let questionable people to escape the law from South Africa. Now, the question I've asked before, who is this person or what corridor that it is provided for questionable people to escape from the law in South Africa? What am I talking about? Every time there is a high profile person accused of a crime, somewhere, somehow, there is a corridor that opens for them to leave the country silently while the police find themselves dumbfounded as to how they escaped the country. Now, what am I talking about once again? If you remember the Guptas one morning they were gone. Apparently, they loaded up some cash in their vehicles. Some even fell on the ground. The securities actually helped themselves while they used this corridor to get themselves to the EAU, right? And ever since, we've been trying to extradite them to South Africa to answer some questions. Okay, in recent times, we had Bishop Bushiri or whatever he's called. He too is accused of some heinous crimes of corruption, money laundering, racketeering, etc., and so on. And when the law pounced on him, he got arrested and then he got bail. The moment he got bail, he and his family were out of South Africa. How so? Because in court, he said he was not a flight risk. He's got assets, he's got money, he's got property, you name it, in South Africa, and all of these things, they are under his name, and so he will not leave the country. Where is he today? Is he not back in his homeland of Malawi, which refuses to extradite him back to South Africa to come and answer to the criminal charges against him and his family? Now, we had Thabo Bester escaping from Bloemfontein. He and his girlfriend, Nandiba Makutumana, they escaped South Africa through the same corridor. And now we're having Chidima, who is said to be in Nigeria already, with all this cloud that is so dark around her, so much so that her identity was cancelled. How did she leave South Africa? Is the question I'm asking. And if the Hawks got involved, because the Hawks were the ones that supposed to have closed every port of entry and exit for Chidima, but apparently she's in Nigeria. And do you think if it's time for her to come back, whether she wins or loses Miss Universe Nigeria, and now she needs to come back to South Africa, she will be able to come back to South Africa? I don't think she's going to come back to South Africa. This is her escape. And whoever is in charge of this corridor told her, listen, girl, you are never to come back to South Africa so that you do not expose the rest of us as to how you got out of South Africa. Now, the question is, who is this person? How much do they charge? Because I am sure there is a certain amount of money, because they are corrupt, to pay this person who has the key to this corridor that lets out very, very questionable people out of South Africa so they do not face the long arm of the law. What corridor is that? Who is in charge of it? Is it a politician? Is it border patrols? Is it maybe the government itself? What's happening? Can somebody please answer this question? And where is the intelligence? I mean, the Hawks, it's supposedly some high crime unit within the South African police service, but why always they get outplayed by these suspected criminals? Somebody, please. I don't know, guys. I don't know if I'm the only one who's seeing this. Has anybody ever questioned this before? Why are we not discussing it? Why don't we? I know social media, there are investigators. I think Twitter is even called FBI because these guys, they can find things that nobody ever thought will be found out. But my instincts are telling me that somebody is the corridor that is used and collects millions of rands to open this corridor in order for these people to run away from South Africa. And I'm sure it's not these only people that we know. Probably there are other people that have fled the country. Like, for example, the lady who was Esma Khushula's PA, she escaped South Africa. She had to be extradited from the United States, and she was only brought back to South Africa about 2 weeks ago. How did she escape South Africa to the United States? And why would she run to a country we have extradition treaty with South Africa? I don't get it. So now, who is in charge of this corridor, and how many other people have this person or these people have helped criminals, suspected criminals, to escape from the law in South Africa? I don't think Chidima is coming back. Whatever life she had here in South Africa, she packed it all up and left. She ain't coming back. And I would think that her father flew along with her to Nigeria, while the mom, well, I don't know, whatever the story is, because we heard at one point she tried to run away from the law up until she realized that she does not have any way out, and therefore she went to hire a lawyer. And now the lawyers have to deal with the police, which is something, it doesn't work like that. When you are accused of a crime, the only time it becomes speak to my lawyer is when you have been in court. While the police are still investigating, they have every right to visit you, take you to the police station, interrogate you or interview you in front of your lawyer or in the presence of your lawyer. Not that you speak to the lawyer. It doesn't work like that. But other than that, you can tell that they continue to disrespect the laws of this country with such arrogance. So I don't know how true it is that Chidima is in Nigeria, but if she is in Nigeria, well, she's gonna win that pageant. I think we do have extradition treaty with Mexico, and if she does fly to Mexico to contest for Miss Universe, of course the authorities in Mexico are going to arrest her, and then a whole extradition hearing is going to take place, I think, in Mexico, not in Nigeria, because she would have been arrested in Mexico, courtesy of South Africa requesting the authorities in Mexico to please arrest her on our behalf. So, whatever exercise that Chidima is going to do in Nigeria as a fugitive from South African law, it's futile. It's really futile. I know some people are going to say, but she was not involved. She did not know that her mother stole somebody else's ID. Hey, did you see her social media platforms, Twitter, X as well? I mean, X and Instagram, and also TikTok. Did you see a South African flag there? She knew this girl who she was. She knew this very, very well. And if you actually look at her entry videos to Miss South Africa pageant, at one point she talked about how she was always questioning herself to a point where she started hurting herself. There are scars on her wrists to show that she was ashamed of herself. Ashamed of what? What did she know that actually made her ask herself, who am I? Because I think that's what I heard in one of her entry videos. I tried looking for that video, I can't find it. But I will find it one day and I will show you what she said. And if you read between the lines, this girl always knew that she was not South African. She always knew. And secondly, I agree with the people that say that this girl was not born in South Africa, let alone, what's her name again? Aline, is it what's her name? Annabella Rungo is her mother. I also don't think so, because there was a time where Nigerian children born in Nigeria will leave with their fathers from Nigeria to South Africa with the intention of applying for their children to become South African citizens. So I wonder what's going to happen to them now that we are busy sifting out all the rubbish out of Home Affairs and our communities in South Africa, because they are going to stand out like a sore thumb once the Home Affairs is done with them. I see a lot of people basically sharing with me that they've gone to check their own statuses, not only just whether their IDs are duplicated, but they also checked whether they are dead or they are married without their knowledge and other stuff as well. They're going through banks. Others have made appointments with Home Affairs to see if indeed they are still themselves and nobody has gone and stolen their identity. And I'm glad that you guys are doing that. Continue doing it. If you have not done it, please go check. Maybe you are a millionaire. And if you are a millionaire, please can you share just 0.1% of that million? I'm kidding. I'm not. And then just check. You who knows? You can actually fight this in court and say, listen, these things are mine now. The properties, the cars, the assets, everything is mine, including the wealth. I mean, I think that case you can actually win it because at the end of the day, all of those things are under your name and ID number. So whoever else makes claim to those things, you can actually have them arrested for theft or attempted theft or whatever the case might be. But then again, let's go back or circle back to my question earlier. Is there a corridor for questionable individuals in South Africa that allows them to escape the country once the police are on their tail? Because something doesn't make sense at all. Is it at Ortambo? Is it at Port of Durban or Richards Bay? Or is it Bait Bridge? Is it Limbombo border? Is it where are they? Is it some ground under that we don't know about that comes out somewhere else in another country and they utilize these things? Come on, guys, there's something not right here. I smell a rat. Anyways, guys, please do not leave this video without liking, sharing, commenting, and do consider subscribing. And when you do subscribe, make sure to click the bell notification so that you get notified every time I upload a new video. I want to say thank you so much to everybody that are watching the ads. If you're not watching the ads, what are you doing? Watch the ads. Thank you so much. And yeah, the super thank button as well. It is open for donations if you want to donate to my channel. And yeah, guys, let's see each other in my next video. Goodbye.